Okay, we're on. And my camera fell down. Brilliant. Absolutely wonderful. There we go. I think everything should be good. Hopefully sound is alright. I've kind of switched off the music just because it kind of gets in the way a little bit. I'm gonna, as chat comes in, I'll be happy to talk away. But for the time being, what I'm going to be doing is I will be putting on a video in the background just for me to have something to keep me going on over there. But that's only as a background thing to keep myself a little bit entertained there as I paint. I've been finding it kind of very relaxing to do so. All I really put on is usually like some Star Trek or something like that. That helps me just to relax and enjoy as I watch, if I can find the bloody thing at the moment. There we go. All right, there we go. That will just be in the background for me. Oh, hello. There we go, make it nice and quiet so it's not a bother. Sorry, I'm still sitting up whilst actually being live. Very, very unprofessional of me. I've got my monitor going, I can see everything, that's good, that's over there. I want my chat visible there. There we go. And then that's all good. Where's my other screen? That one. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Okay. Oh, hello, Bald GM. Oh, it's a raid. That's a good timing. I've just started and getting myself into gear after just getting my little one to bed. So hello. I don't know how many you've brought along, but I'm just literally going to get started on this guy here. Oh, thank you very much. All right, lovely jubbly. Thank you very much for the follow. Hello there, A7 Zelica as well. Nice to see you there. Right. I'm going to be getting on with trying to paint this guy up as best as I can. If I can. And so I've got a kind of you got a picture up in the top corner there. That's going to be kind of my frame of reference for like light values and things like that. So I think we'll get on with some of the fun stuff, which is like the skull. So for that, I'm going to be throwing down some heavy brown and mixing it with a little bit of ivory that I've already got on the palette here. Oh my god, my palette is just chock-a-block at the moment. Thank you very much. That's lovely. Thank you for bringing people along, saying hello. It's been I've been a little bit absent over this Christmas period, and it's been busier than I was expecting to be for Christmas. And family things just kind of take up a lot of my time. But I am painting a little bit, and I've actually started to start selling my models. Because I got all of this backlog of Warhammer stuff. And I decided I don't want to have it anymore. But I'm refusing to sell anything that isn't painted. So it's a chance for me to put out all these old models that I haven't touched in forever. And actually paint them up. And then try and sell them. And I've actually been making a small profit on each of the models that I sell, which has been pretty nice. Which is pretty good. But yeah, that's been kind of fun to just sell some models and get a little bit of money for it. And what I'm really hoping for is I sell enough and I just buy. I'm thinking about buying a 3D printer. So I want to do more busts and larger scale models, but here in Japan, buying those things are really damn expensive. So I'm really tempted to get myself a 3D printer for that reason. And this is kind of my justification of doing it, is selling off a bunch of old models, making some space, and then I can hopefully afford to actually buy one. And then I hope in the long run that saves me money. But we'll see if that really happens. I don't think there's anything that really saves you money in this. It's pure addiction. I'm sure it is. Once I actually start like printing like infinity terrain and things like that, and be like, hey, now I've got a modular cyberpunk terrain kind of set, I'll be like, oh god, where do I put it? Like, space is already a problem in this country. So it would be, I don't know if it's a good idea or not to do so, but yeah. Okay, right, so at the moment I'm just kind of value sketching all my light sources on the skull here. At the moment this is kind of like one of my brighter ends of it. I'm going to be blending it all in later. What's good about using this one is it's pretty much the same kind of colors that I'm using for the scroll as well. I just blend it slightly differently to try and create the slight texture differences that we would see on each of these. But for now I'm just putting in the light values so I know roughly where the light is falling on everything. Once that's all in there, I can do it for these, because these things are going to be gold, so I want to kind of do it in a slightly different color. So I'm not going to do the gold stuff that's hanging around. I'm going to be doing NMM for that. That'd be fun. Thank you very much. Yeah, I've been playing around, like, so I had a bunch of old Necromunda models. I've been playing around with, oh, that's nice. Yeah, I bet. I'm trying to be strict on trying to like not buy anything until I'm all got everything done. So yeah, I've been doing this kind of more volumetric style painting, and it's coming out fairly nicely. Here's one of my old Necromunda models that I've painted up. That was a fairly quick paint job actually, and I was pretty happy with that. Using the photos helps me speed up a lot of my work. Here's like an infinity model where I actually built in some OSL as well, just to give an idea of where those things are and how I'm working towards this kind of paint schemes. So yeah, these old models are kind of very characterful. I liked doing these old Necromunda ones. Except what I'm finding, of course, is in Japan there is absolutely zero market for people buying them. Because Necromunda, even the new version, is not translated into Japanese. There's no, like, because it's more of a niche game within the Games Workshop stuff. There's not a translation of it in Japanese. So, of course, no one here is playing it as far as I can tell, except for probably a few foreigners. So unless some fellow foreigners kind of spot my wares on Mercury, which is the kind of online selling platform here in Japan, the most popular one, then I'm probably not going to be selling them. And also I'm charging a fair bit for them because they're vintage and all of that. Yeah, I'm in Japan, by the way. So yeah, I live here in Japan. I'm thinking of trying to actually get some Gundam, perhaps. I've not really ever gotten any Gundam, but I want to see if I can paint them up fairly decently and see if I can actually kind of sell them, because I have no need for keeping them. Literally the only models that I want to keep are my Infinity stuff, because that's the game I want to play, and maybe a few Warhammer things. I'm kind of starting to think, do I want to start playing a bit of Kill Team just for something light and easy that's also I can fit on a coffee table in some respects. Oh, where are you? Are you in Korea? Is my guess. There's quite a scene in Korea for miniature gaming, I think. Either that or Singapore. Or have I got it completely wrong and you're in Taiwan or somewhere like that? I know there's some little communities and there's communities around in each of those kind of countries. Malaysia. Oh gosh, that was gonna be my final guess. But very nice, very nice. Do you have much of a community there where you're living in Malaysia? Because here in Osaka, like I'm around Osaka, for Infinity, there's nobody. There's like my mate who doesn't really play Infinity, but will every so often play with me, just to keep me happy, I think. We usually do it on TTS, to be honest, on Tabletop Simulator. But there is a community up in Tokyo, not Tokyo, in... I just remembered I was supposed to be recording all of this. There we go, record. Good. Yeah. It's kind of the Asian thing is, I think with a lot of Asian people, like the Gundam and anime it's obviously going to be a lot stronger. It's just kind of natural. I mean, to be honest, it's probably even more popular in the West as well, just because its saturation is higher than miniature games and things like that. Let's see if Henry Cavill will change that. But yeah. But there are usually a few little communities and things about for Warhammer. Certainly for Warhammer, not so much for Infinity. It just sucks for me. I know there is a bit of a community in in Korea for Infinity. That seems to be fairly popular there. People are but generally in Korea and actually most other Asian countries, people are a bit more fluent in English in general. So when you have games which have only the rules in English, or at least not in the local languages, there's more chance of them being played in those countries where more people can actually speak and read the language. In Japan, English proficiency is pretty poor. So obviously, people don't really play Infinity so much, which sucks for me. So it's usually the games which have got the local language in. So Games Workshop have made everything in Japanese versions of everything available here, which is handy, except for Necromunda, which makes it difficult for me to sell the bloody thing. Yeah, I forgot where I was going, but that's fine. It's been a long day, so my mind might be a little bit off. It's usually a little bit off, to be honest. Right, where else do I need to mark in? I've got to basically get all of these scrolls and everything there. Okay. This guy's covered in scrolls, isn't he? They're all down here as well, so let's catch a bit of that. A bit on there. A bit there. And then I've got my next photo, which is the back photo. Lovely. Great. You just talking about 3D printing just makes me want to get a 3D printer even more. Then they're not particularly cheap here in Japan in comparison to other countries. So it's kind of a bit more of a commitment, but there's less people doing it here. So I think there's also, if I feel like I enjoy 3D printing, then I may like find something that I think would be popular in Japan, maybe get a selling license for it, and then have a go at selling just a few miniatures, just testing, just to test the water of any kind of market here. To be honest, I think anime type style stuff would probably be the best, even if it is European anime kind of style models. But who knows? Anyway, enjoy the lurking. All right. I hope. Did everyone have a nice holiday? Did anyone get anything interesting? I pretty much got nothing. It's more focused on my daughter. So my daughter got like the Pokemon trading card game, which is good for her reading. She's 6 years old. She's going to turn 7 soon. But yeah, we've been kind of playing a bit of Pokemon trading card game, and I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of fun. That's exactly the reason I want to buy a printer. Is what I like to do is I like to paint the busts as like Christmas or birthday gifts for family. So I can find like a theme of something that they might like, someone might like. So I know like my dad loves he certainly enjoys a bit of like American history. So having kind of some of like the Native American. Okay, Siri's just been searching the web for me just suddenly because it's been listening to me. So sorry, I just suddenly stopped there. But yeah, I would love to get those things. Yeah, you have a lovely dinner. Thank you for joining for the bit that you did. That was absolutely superb. And take care. So what time is it? What time is it over there in Malaysia right now? Because I mean, you're not too far away, so you must be having a bit of a late dinner. Because we're on 10:20 now. But anyway, yeah, you go and have a lovely time. It's 9:17. Yeah, so you're having a late dinner. Enjoy. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, thank you very much for joining the stream. It's always a pleasure to have some folks in, so it kind of gets my tongue waggling, even if I just talk absolute nonsense. Oh, crikey, I have no idea where to put the values on that one. Right, there we go. I'm actually going to be... I've got a YouTube channel. I haven't actually put a YouTube video up properly for a while. I've just had a time lapse of one of the Necromunda models that I did recently, and but I've got a video edited that was available to my patrons, which I have two, not much. But I had a video that go out about painting with value sketches. So that's going to be going up online soon. I'm going to put that up this weekend, which is also going to be my birthday. Yay. That's where I'm trying to create the excuse for getting a 3D printer. So I'll see if I can kind of squeeze it in. I think as long as I don't use my money in Japan and I use my money in England, which to be honest will take me further, I might be able to justify it. Otherwise, I don't know. I might need to just sell a few more minis first. But to be honest, like, selling the minis, I'm getting a fairly decent amount from them. Not like worthy of the time put in if it was just pure work, but I'm doing it for fun and for improving my own ability, and then selling it for a small profit, it just feels good. So I sold some blood letters and blood crushers. So originally the blood crushers cost me the equivalent of about $70, I guess, and I sold them for $120. And then some did the same with the blood letters, and the blood letters cost me about the equivalent of $40, and I sold them for $120 as well. I was quite surprised that they sold. And so yeah, I was pretty chuffed with that. So I kind of got, after Mercury takes its commissions and things, and you spend on you pay the for the shipping as well, I ended up with well, about $200. So I'm $200 closer to getting a 3D printer. To be honest, to have me start up 3D printing, I've kind of worked out the equivalent of about $500 would do me good. So this guy is going to be someone I'm going to sell. So I believe this original model was like $40 or something like that. So I'm going to see how long it takes me, because that's going to be dependent on how I charge or how well it comes out. But I'm really going to look at selling him for about 80 if I can. Good thing about painting this Chaplain is he is chapter agnostic. There's nothing on him that's going to be like make him a specific legion or anything like that, and there's no pauldrons to mark with anything, so yeah, I can kind of keep him chapter agnostic and hopefully be able to sell him that way. Hee. But yeah, I just, having my hobby kind of just pay for itself for a little bit just makes it much more worth it. And in some respects, it's given me a greater desire to paint better as well. Not paint better, but paint more, I think. Because if I can get them painted, then I can kind of stick them on the website and just sell them off, and it just feels good just getting that kind of like interest as well. I want to kind of hopefully start doing some commission work as well, but getting there is getting that out there is a bit difficult. That's the only thing. But yeah. Hopefully we'll get there. All right. Have we done most of the skulls and the cloths? So this is going to be gold. I'm going to do those gold. So there's going to be a slightly different style to it. There's a bunch of these things here. I'm going to have to do something with blip. Oh, I just read actually over Zelika's message there about them Infinity starting to get bigger there. Oh, that's kind of cool. My wife is actually like every so often like, oh, I don't want to live in Japan. I don't want to live in Japan. Maybe we should live somewhere else. Malaysia's one of the places that kind of came up in conversation. I don't know. We're kind of more. We are kind of. We're kind of said I've got a decent job and I'm doing well for myself, but it's still like living in Japan is just costly. Is the main difficulty, and just living like a Japanese person means that your free time is just gone. It's kind of hard to be able to find the time to do other things other than work sometimes, and you just want to chill. I tend to want to do painting or gaming of some kind, or something to do with the miniature hobbies. That's the way I relax. If I'm sitting watching TV, I kind of get a bit antsy and be like, I need to be doing something with my hobby. Oftentimes I end up just looking at the models that I have. Right, hopefully this purple is still good enough to use. I want to use that to mark in the, just kind of give it almost a base coat for each of these seals. I'm going to do it purple, and we're going to work up to a darkish red. I feel like the purple base will make them look a bit more grimdark, I guess. I guess that's what we're going for with this. I mean, within 40k, there's nothing really that screams grimdark more than a frickin' Terminator Chaplain. Certainly not in the Space Marines lineup. And I'm a Dark Angels player, or at least I was, and so they're just even more grimdark, I feel. I remember originally when I was a kid, I got into the Dark Angels because they had quite a bit of Native American kind of iconography and style, certain kind of stylistic designs about them. But then when I got back into the hobby around 6th edition, when I picked up the Dark Vengeance box set, they certainly lent a hell of a lot more towards almost kind of like knights, kind of medieval knights. So it's quite surprised. I think I've got one of the old models that it's got like the massive feather headdress. They still got a few feathers and things, but they're definitely more kind of like knights. And I mean, you kind of see it as well in their lore. As that kind of progressed, it definitely lent itself towards kind of crusading knights going out on their homeworld of Caliban to hunt the creatures. That was kind of cool. But it wasn't my original image of Dark Angels. But they're still my favourite chapter, even though their Primarch is just a grade A-hole. Just a bit of a knob, to be honest. Yeah, he can go. I was going to say something very rude there, but I'm going to avoid making lewd comments on the stream if I can. Alright, nearly got all of these seals based in purple. To be honest, this purple has been on the wet palette a little too long, so it's a little bit runny. So it's not quite giving me the coverage that I want, but to be honest, I'm just wanting to tint them purple at the moment, so it's not too bad. It's basically like just a base coat there that we're going to work from and build up from. Right, I think I got all those seals. There's just so many of them. There we go. Okay, so next what we're going to try and do is we're going to we're going to mark in the sheen on the black armor. This is the bit that's going to be tricky. So we're going to be, I think what I want to do is I want to keep up some of the contrast in this. And when I say the contrast, I'm going to be mixing in, instead of white to create a grey, I'm going to mix in a touch of ice yellow, so that we have a little bit of yellow in the grey, making it just pop a little bit more. Right, this wet palette is getting completely and utterly full up. After today, I've got to make sure to change over the wet palette. So we're going to go for a grey. I'm going to go for a fairly dark grey, I think. And then we're going to just mark in the sheen off of the black armor. So yeah. There we go. And we can always work it up or work it down. And just put in that little bit of yellow. Hopefully it'll just make it a little bit punchier. Now, because I'm a bit nervous about this, I'm going to start on the back, where I feel like if I make mistakes, I don't care so much. So I'm going to mark in that sheen there, which then stretches to there. This is great. Having the photo there just takes away any of that kind of thought that you might have about, like, oh, where is the light gonna fall? Because it's all right there for you. You just have to follow it. And once you've sketched it in, it's easy enough just to follow. And then you just kind of work it back and forth until you get the values that you really want. It's not too bad. So we're just marking in where we're going to see most of the shine. There we go. Right, that's that kind of leg pretty much done. And then, where is it? There we go. Right, it is catching across this bit here. I tend not to use much in the way of washes. I try to avoid washes as much as possible and work more about layering. Trying to do a little bit of stippling these days as well. Glazing is something I'm learning, and it seems to be getting better now that I do these value sketches, to be honest, because now I'm kind of placing it in the right places. Or at least better places. Got a little bit of brown I've got to clean up there. All right, now I just draw this bit in, and we'll be catching a lot across there. There we go. It's all catching on the edges of this, so it's basically like a edge lining on that one. This one's just catching a bit of the light across the whole bit there. Just do it there. I'm kind of, sometimes you can kind of change what you see to kind of best suit what you really want. Okay, so we've kind of got light being drawn up that way. So I'm going to do that. So kind of catch it that way, a little bit coming down to there. It's kind of very rough, but I'm kind of getting something there anyway. Again, this is going to look pretty bad at the moment, but then once we actually start blending the layers, it should hopefully start looking a lot better. That's roughly there, and then it's also catching the light across the shoulder there. So it keeps it fairly uniform across there. Then we're catching each of these bolts as well, because they're sticking out. Bit of light catching across the top, but not too much. Okay, there's a lot of light catching across here. Okay, the rest of that is all in shadow. So I think we can kind of call from this angle. Oh no, there's a bit on the foot there I missed. There we go. Okay, that is roughly where we want to be. Catching the top of that. Right, that kind of catches the value sketch on the back there. Now we'll come to the front, and we'll try and do the same again. So there's quite a bit catching on all of this there. There's a little bit catching on the front there, and it's the same across the across the front there, and it even builds into a shine just next to this eagle's head, or the aquila's head. Again, as we do more painting, we'll be able to build up a lot more of those layers. Now each of these is actually catching a lot of light as well. So that this bit is catching an awful lot as well as this side here. So hopefully all of this shine is going to also bring a lot of focused to the head. I hope. Ahoy. Always a hope. We've got a little bit on there. Coming down on there. This bit here. As well as this here. And then there's that shine on the curve there. Now on the hands, catch the top of the thumb there. And then it's pretty much the same, the top part of the curve there. I've kind of done a bit too much on there, but there's kind of a catch there. You definitely catch the top of the leg there, as well as a little bit coming down to there. Now, these bars that are going around the leg, I may do them a different colour, but for the time being I'm going to put in the value sketch for them. There's also a bit that's catching on the top there. There's a very, very faint building of light there. But we're going to darken that down a little bit since it's still too bright, what I've done. I think. Anyway. Right. That's one leg done. Now onto the other. This one has a bit of light just kind of gathering by the chain. There. But it's again, it's a very faint one, so we're going to darken it a bit, I think, when we actually start building in the layers. Those bits on the top there catch a lot of light. The rest of the leg is not really catching a lot of light. A little bit there. Seems a bit odd to me, but oh well. Then these kind of weird toes on the foot there, along with the curve on the front there. Same with you, actually. Curve on the front there. Okay. Now I go on with the rest of the value sketch that we have here. These next bits I'm going to have to guess a little bit, but we can kind of see that there is a bit there. Chapter neutral. Oh yes, chapter neutral, so it's easier to sell. As soon as this guy's done, I'm selling him. I'm putting him on the Japanese selling site, and gonna let him go for however much I feel he's worth, and see if people will buy it. Yay! Yeah, right now we're just doing a value sketch just to build in all of the where all the reflections are going to be. Thank you for the game of Arrestea the other day. That was a blast. I really needed that. It was really good to play. Okay, I think more or less got the value sketch I need on the front there. Ah, there's a bit of this whole bit here. Big old shine on there that I've missed. Yeah, like to be honest, you should have won it as well. uh, just a bit too keen on that whole popping smoke thing with Legon. But yeah, it was a fun game though, just to get those gaming juices back into the flow of things. I don't know. I think you did a really good job. It was a very close game. It was really good that way. Had stuff go both ways. I made a whole load of errors. It's the way it goes in that game. This bit I'm kind of guessing the values. Yeah, I kind of my game plan was pretty much just to bog up the game and make sure I had the most frags, and then hopefully go for the draw at the end, which nearly actually lost me the game. So I'm not sure if that was such a great idea of mine. Okay. Alright, I think I've got more or less my value sketch that I want in there for the armor. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I do like that game. It's a good game. I got to play more of the scenarios though. Really try out, see if there's something, fun with the other stuff, especially on the other side of the board, where you're using the other zones on the blue side. But yeah. Oh, it's turned a bit chilly. All right, let's try and get this armor right, because I feel like the armor is going to be the hardest thing for me to do. So let's get it darker, and then water it down a little bit as well. There we go. Alright, it's already looking like it is working. Doing a bit of a semi-glaze. I don't like doing just blacks and whites. It's difficult to kind of keep the interest high, so I'm hoping I can pull this off. I'll go a little bit lighter as well into the center. Oh, I should be really going the other way. It's hard to tell until it dries. Okay, let's try and hit this pauldron here and see how we go when we lighten it up as well. So I'm going to go with my lighter grey. But again, we're going to water that down so it's more of a glaze. There we go. And this we're going to go in a very focused area. This is where I have the danger of it looking like metal rather than a black armor. I've got to look under it, under regular light. Okay, it's going to need a little bit more blending to get it right, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm sold on this. Eesh. Get a touch more black in there. Did I go too far now? I can never quite tell. Oh man. I can't tell if I'm doing a good job or not. Is that really? Well, I've got a gradient, a blend there. I'm just not sure if it looks natural. I guess actually the shine is a little bit bigger. Ah, that's okay. We'll stick with that for the time being. And we'll work on the rest of these gradients. Okay, let's see here. So this one's actually going to be going darker as it goes up. Nothing too fancy on that one. Get the lighter bit though, and then maybe putting down to there. where it's catching the most light. Keep that one simple. Then this one, catch there, and on the top there. Woo. Okay, I got them mixed too many of my paints together there. It's gonna all bleed into each other a bit too much. And this one catches a lot of light. Kind of there. And then kind of comes right down to there. Ooh. Difficult one. Again, I don't want to go too heavy on that. My paint's bleeding into each other. It's actually going a little bit higher, isn't it? That's what it goes up to. Sorry, I'm kind of focusing too much. I think I went too low, that was my problem. So let's bring that down again. Just there. And then, yeah, we just go a little bit higher, if anything. Okay, I'm going to blend up a little bit more. Get that mid-tone. Need to go a bit darker. There we go. Damn, it's hard to tell. I'm going to go darker near the bottom. Really exaggerate some of the black. I know it's shiny in the picture, but I think I just got to exaggerate that. Make sure we don't lose the black and it just doesn't read as grey. Okay, I think we bring it back to a little bit of that black. If it looks like a natural shine, then that's probably a good thing. It's really hard to tell for me right now when I'm looking at it. But yeah. Okay, it's not too bad. We're not too bad, we're not too bad, not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. Right, let's try and... Right, this one's just catching up a lot of light. That one's kind of fine as it is. I'm probably going to paint them a different colour anyway. That's okay. Right, let's go and hit these legs. I don't have to do too much on the leg there. If anything, I want to make sure it does keep some of its depth of darkness. So that we don't have our eye drawn down to the leg. We want it still drawn up. Kind of got to let a lot of it dry to really figure out if I've done it right or not. It's a little bit difficult. Constantly mixing back and forth to try and find the greys that I need. This is going to be fun. This is good practice for my painting of my JSA. Because my JSA have black armor, and I've been wanting to make a more subtler blend for my painting. So this is acting as a good practice model for that, at least. I'm a bit quiet as I focus on this for the time being. Okay. I quite like, I'm not going too bright on the legs, and that's good because it's then not going to draw attention too much to them. At least that's the idea. But I'm also kind of liking the blend a little bit better than what I was getting earlier. A little bit more subtle, but it definitely reads as being black. But you've kind of got these natural shines almost. But it's hard to sometimes tell when that shine is actually caused by my light and which is caused by my painting. I have to take it out every so often. Just have a look. You know what? I'm actually liking it quite a bit. Man, ginger ale and rum is really nice. It's a nice little drink. Okay, I think the back is done, so let's go and have a go at the same thing at the front. No, where do I start? I'm going to start on the legs. We'll work up. Now, they're pretty dark, so I'm actually going to be going over a lot of this. To blend it in. I'm probably actually going to be bringing in a lot more black into the mix for this. First of all, let's just catch all of this. Okay, and then I'm going to go with some of the pure black. We're going to bring this leg down quite a bit. There we go. It leaves a very small highlight on there, which is kind of what we're wanting on that bit of the leg. This bit's good. Okay, let's go and blend the other side a little bit. Okay, I think that leg is okay. Didn't need to do much. Just caught a teensy bit of light on there. Now, this bit is going to go pretty bright. It catches quite a lot of light there. And then let's bring it down there and there. Okay, let's top that up with a bit more black, touch of ice yellow, there we go, a wonderful dark grey. And then bringing that one down a little bit there and there, while also stretching it out. This one, it's still quite a bit of the light. This is where we're catching a lot of, still catching a lot of light on there. So we're actually placing in quite a bit of these textures, these kind of darker textures in there, but also mixing in a bit more lighter as well. We're going to add those in as we go. Let's see, it's a little bit down there, a little bit on there, there. Right, let's go with the light. Figure out exactly how bright we can go with some of these parts, just the pinpoint moments. So mostly it's going to be kind of across there. With a dibble just there. Now, that one is shining particularly bright around there. It's catching along there in a similar location to that. Now each of these rivets as well is catching light. There we go. This as well. And this one as well. I should highlight him a bit. Okay. Let's try and tackle one of the shoulder pads. Right, let's go light and catch the bits that are going to be extra light. So there's a bit around there that kind of curves in there. It's kind of where the light is. And then it's kind of falling into a circle, a sphere around that where the pauldron is. So that's where we're catching light. Now, smoothing that, I've got some lovely black here, which we're just going to squeeze onto there. I don't think I've thinned it enough. Alright, we're going to let that dry first before we attempt to play around with it, because I want to see what it looks like first. I think I kind of screwed that bit up. Okay. Try and get this arm. I'm going to water down the paint a bit, so hopefully we can get a smoother blend, which I think we will. So, yay! I may be trying to do too much at once right now. But, oh well, it seems to be going on well. Won't know until it's dried a bit first. Oh, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Right, let's bring in the lighter end of this. Let's water it down. All right, I'm getting there. I feel like I'm getting there. Still need maybe a touch more of the ice yellow in there, just to bring it up just a touch more. We can kind of, there we go. Not sure if I'm doing that exactly right, but there we go. It is kind of highlighting some areas there. We've got a fairly smooth blend, I feel. It's not too bad. Could be a lot worse. Okay. Alrighty. Oh. What time are we on? We're on 11:20. Fantastic. I can do it a little bit longer. I'll try and get at least all of this bit done. Right. Right, this arm needs to be done. Where was I? Build up a little bit more of the legs. I feel like the legs are still a bit too dark. Okay. For an initial coat for the black armor, I think I'm fairly happy. We'll see how it looks once we get the rest of the model done. So let's have a go at doing the skull, getting the skull just right. Now, I was using a mix of, let's use the heavy brown as a way to mix this one in. Okay, I'm liking how this is looking. Right, mixing ivory. Okay, I'm quite liking how the skull's looking. Okay. It's looking all right, I think. We are getting there. We are getting there. Okay. I think for now, though, that's going to be a good place for me to stop. So I've run out of space on my wet palette and I don't want to be messing around with that anymore. I've got all the base coats in. The next parts we can try and work on is perhaps the gold NMM. And we can see how that contrasts with all the rest of everything that we've got going on in the screen there. I just realised I've got this mask on the whole time. It's really annoying. Anywho, that I think is going to be it for tonight. And I think we've made some good progress there. That's nice. All right. Let's stop my video on that. And then, yeah, pretty pleased with the progress there. Anyway, thank you for all who joined and any who were lurking. Always nice to have a good old chat with anyone that comes along. Have a lovely holiday. Well, I hope everyone's enjoying their holidays and having a good time. And if I don't see you, have a happy new year. Thank you and take care. Yeah, thank you very much, Bull GM. Yeah, I'm liking how he's progressing. I need to really bump up a lot of that contrast in there, but we'll get that once we work on the golden That's going to really hopefully make him pop. We're going to see if the black armor just still reads as black armor. Okay. But yeah, thank you very much. Take care, everyone. And bye-bye. Always smooth, this transition. Bye-bye.